Good afternoon. How are you guys doing? I hope well. What I want to be able to focus on this afternoon is some fundamentals when it actually comes to using your electric file. We don't work with a drill. If you want a drill, you could go to Home Depot. I said it all the time. You go to Home Depot, you could buy a bucket of screws and a block of wood, and you could practice drilling all day long. Another thing is, if your customers hear you, right, referring to your machine as a drill, it's going to instill fear, right, in their hearts and their minds. So, one of the things you want to be able to do to be able to instill confidence and calmness is referring to your machine as an e-file or an electric file, because the machine is designed for one thing. It is literally to protect your most important asset, which is your body, right? So if you understand proper ergonomics when it actually comes to refinement, finishing, filing, you're going to save your wrists, your shoulders, and your back in the long term while you're working. So I'm going to get into some fundamentals to show you exactly how you're going to be able to build some of these skills, and then as you get comfortable, you'll be able to incorporate this into your everyday professional life. All right, so first of all, and the reason why I'm saying this is because we got a big sale coming up, and I know Habib, if you guys watch Twitch, right, you'll know that he obviously talks about what kind of discount the e-file is going to be on coming up for the Labor Day sale. So okay, so our electric file, really beautiful piece of equipment. So the nice thing about this is, first of all, once you get this piece of equipment, when you turn this on, it fires up, and then you can keep it on. You don't have to turn it on and off. You can literally use this button. Yeah, I dropped acetone on there. I forgot to put my cover. It actually comes with a plastic sheet that goes over the top to prevent this from actually staining, which is nice. This is the original unit, which is way over a year old, which is awesome. So you can see that when I fire this on and off button, right? So do I have it on? Just double check. Do I have it on? I have it on handpiece. Yes, I do. There we go. It was at 0, right? So if I turn this up again to like 4,000 RPMs, you can see on and off, right? On, off, on, off. This is all I'm going to be using to turn the machine on and off. If I am a left-handed individual, right now it's in forward. If I'm a left-handed individual, I want to turn it in reverse, right? So again, it's going to be spinning in the opposite direction, right? I'm going to fire this off and then reverse it back to forward, and then you can see it's spinning in this direction. That's the direction I want for forward. Okay, so on and off, right? I keep my handpiece in my cradle, and when I'm turning the machine on and off, all I'm doing is hitting this button. I don't have to physically worry about turning it off from the back until the very end of the day, which is nice. Once you get your machine, you're going to notice that two of the arrows are pointed towards each other. If I turn it left, lefty-loosey, I'm going to be able to take the bit out that I want, and then I'm going to be able to put a new bit in, righty-tighty, right? So lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. You have to click. I've had people go like, I can't get the bit out. And what they do is they turn it. It's still locked. You have to turn it until it clicks all the way. There's a physical click, right? And then that way you're going to be able to get the bit out. When you put the bit back in, and then you lock it, right? Then it's locked and loaded and ready to go. Since I am working with a nail, I'm going to be going over some fundamentals. I use a sanding band, and every morning I'm doing preparation. If you guys watch a lot of the videos, you notice that I use a sanding band to do all the prep work. I'm not going to be focusing on that right now. What I'm going to be focusing on is some electric filing skills. So this nail was built out. I just want to show you something. If I went through and quickly, say, shaped my sidewalls, and then came through and just quickly shaped my lower arch on both sides with my hand file, you can see all that hanging, right? You can see all that this is like the lowest point. So if I line this up right here at the lowest point and I file in, right, what will eventually happen is the hand file will reach the extension. You notice that it'll reach that side and it'll build it really, really straight. So once I have my side straight, then what I'm going to be able to do is really focus on the fundamentals of filing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in with a Sharpie some guides. I'm going to draw in an eye. So the I formation roadmap is basically this right here. You want to be able to file in one direction. So what I mean by that is if this is the nail, right? If this is the nail, if I'm working around the cuticle area, which is this area right here, I want to be able to pull in one direction, right, towards myself. If I'm focusing on the upper arch, right, I want to be able to pull in one direction. I'm not going to be going side to side. If you go side to side, there's always a chance of the barrel slipping around the body of the nail. If I'm working on this part, which is really going to cover the whole entire area, I want to be able to work in one direction as I'm filing towards myself. Okay, so I want you to understand that when you're holding your electric file, you're holding it like a pen. You're not holding it way up here. You have to be able to grip it, right, so that you have control of this. And then this also gives me leverage with a fulcrum, right? So I have a balancing point with my pinky or my end, right, or my ring finger. But for me, I like to use my pinky so that I could stabilize. You can see that when I'm working with an overgrip position here, right, I'm able to hold the hand from this position as I'm filing. I'm not holding it like this. For those of you guys that are starting and you're holding it with a Darth Vader death grip, you're probably getting a lot of pressure here in your hand, and then, like, honestly, by the end of this set, this is cramping and it hurts really, really bad. You want to be able to alleviate that pressure by releasing. And then you can see that if I'm coming over the top and I have a really, like, I'm not doing a Darth Vader death grip. I'm just holding it. That way I could position my finger and work. So if I'm working around the cuticle, any one of these lines that you see, if I'm working around the cuticle, I'm going to be covering that area right there, right? So that line really represents this whole back end, right? So this line represents that, which if you look at the side profile, that arch, right? That arch where you have your apex, right? That is, again, you're looking at the side profile. So you're literally starting from inside that black line and all you're doing is tickling towards yourself, right? So, and then here, the very, very bottom of the eye, the bottom of the eye, this represents this whole area right here, which is the C curve. If you're looking down the barrel, that you can see how thick that is, right? So how do we reduce that thickness? You're not going to come from underneath. You're not going to go like this. Like, this is not, you're not going to sit here and go like this from side to side, because then this is what's going to end up happening. If for those of you guys that are working with your e-file, or you just got it, you turn it on, you touch it, and it spins around, that's because what you're doing is you're placing the bit here and it's kicking around the edge as it's coming down. The only way that you're going to be able to file that area in, which represents the very base of the eye, you have to be able to look down the barrel of the nail. So I'm going to, like, if I run my electric file to around 10,000 RPMs, look, it goes all the way up to 30,000. I'm not going to 30,000. That's stupid. Like, my car goes 200 miles an hour. Doesn't mean I get on the freeway and drive 200.
Oh, but you should.
Tracy should. She just came up here. All right, so, like, again, like 10 to like 13, that's a great range right there. right? The fastest I would ever work is probably 14 to 15, fastest ever. But honestly, a lot of the times I'm like within that range right there, right? So if I'm filing the very base of the eye, I want to be able to work in one direction. So you can see the barrel, right? So you can see as I'm pulling towards myself. You see how my finger is balanced? So like that half, as I'm pulling towards myself, you can already start to see, look at the visible thickness is being reduced. Right? Look at that half right there. It literally, that's what I want to be able to build to. So this side over here, this half, if I'm pulling in one direction, if I'm pulling towards myself, look at this. If I'm pulling towards myself, you can physically see the thickness starting to be reduced. I'm putting a lot of pressure just in that area right there. But what I'm doing is I'm following through in that area. That way what I'm able to get is really even thickness from side to side. That's going to take care of the front end of the nail. The cuticle area, right? Again, if I'm filing in one direction, I'm not like, you can see the position of my hand. So if my customer's hand's at the side, I'm not going to be holding it like this. This is not comfortable. If I'm holding it over the top, it's very easy for me to run the barrel perpendicular, right? So like if this is the cuticle area, let me go ahead and just make a drawing for you guys, right? The biggest mistake, like if this is the cuticle area, a lot of nail technicians or beginners make the mistake of running the barrel. If this is the barrel, you're not going to be running it parallel like this. You're not going to be going like this. The barrel has to run perpendicular. It can't run parallel to the line. It has to run perpendicular, right? Perpendicular, right? There has to be a crossing, right? It's always running perpendicular to the line, right? So that is, again, like if my barrel is here, correct? Then what I want to be able to do is run it perpendicular along the cuticle line. So if I turn it on, you can see zone 1. This is zone 1 of my barrel, and I'm working in one direction, right? You just take away these lines. It's making it blurry. Okay. So you can see if I'm working perpendicular, boom. Let's focus it like here, right? Perpendicular, one direction. I'm almost using like from zone 1 to zone 2. It's almost like the front half of the barrel. Working in one direction. I'm not trying to blend it flush to the nail, but you can see that edge, right? You can see how the thickness is taken down. So I finish this area here. One direction, right? Boom, boom. Enough where I'm going to be able to take a hand file around that edge and then literally be able to blend that. Now, the side profile, right, you can see I've taken down all this thickness in here. So what I'm going to do is look at the side profile. I'm just literally just trying to take down that bump up here. I'm trying to match it, right? So I'm just following in one direction towards myself. And you can see I'm actually able to shape that upper arch nice. So once I'm done shaping the eye, what you're left with is thickness right here. What you have to be able to do is like just in one direction. I can start from the back and I can just follow through in one direction all the way. I'm not going side to side, right? I have a lot of, like, I have pressure on my finger here so that I'm balanced as I'm coming through, allowing the machine to do all the work for me. And as you can see, I've reduced a majority of the thickness, which is going to lead me to be able to hand file this into perfection. So now, like for me to be able to come around, I don't really have to hand file that much around the cuticle. This is going to set me up so that I'm going to be able to blend that perimeter tight. This is also going to set me up so that when I'm coming through the body, I'm not sitting here like a lot of beginners are struggling because they're trying to file like this, or they're trying to pick at it to start some kind of fire. That hold the file on the top, right? So that you could use the whole surface area of the file. I want to be able to use my wrist, and my arm, really. If I keep my wrist straight, I'm using my arm to be able to really blend. You can see my file lines, how they blend diagonal down here, right? And it's the same on the opposite side. If I'm holding my hand file, I'm using the whole surface. If I have contact going up and then I let it fall, contact, 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 right? Not down like this, contact and let it fall. Then what I'm able to do is blend it. So this is going to set you up so that, a lot of the thickness is taken down. You're going to be able to really kind of shape out all of the imperfections from the surface of the nail. And then what I like to finish up is by gripping it in between my knuckles and then just resting it on the surface so that I can make it even from side to side. All right, so that's what's going to help you guys. The electric file is designed so that what you're going to be able to do is reduce a lot of the thickness from the body so that it sets you up with the least amount of hand filing. That way you're going to be able to blend the cuticles well. Your finishing is very important. So what's going to set you up so that you don't have to spend a ton of time beating up your shoulders and your back, right, and your neck, and your wrist, and everything. You have to understand that electric filing is one of the most important aspects of doing nails. This is going to set you up so that your finishing takes less. It's also going to set you up so that your ledges around the perimeter of your enhancements that you build are going to be tight to the nail. This is going to lead to perfect finishing when it comes to your gel top coats, your top coats, anything that you want to be able to put on top of your enhancements. This is going to set you up so that if this is tight, the nails are going to be tight as well. If you guys have any questions, hit me up. I hope this helps. You'll be able to review it. You could always reach out to me. I'm always here to help. Appreciate you, and hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks a million. See you guys soon. Peace.